Hello, people. I kind of just wanted to share a little anecdote of something that happened for me at work today that I thought might be helpful for other people. So I work at this place in the mall. Our company has two different stores within the mall, and they're like in different locations, right? And so there is this woman who had been like a part-time coworker of ours, and I guess she had gotten let go over some like argument with management, and apparently she had been coming in to the store buying stuff and then like making a scene at the register at the other store, at the other location of our store in the mall. And so I just like, one of my coworkers told me this because she got a call from upstairs saying, "Hey, this person is back, and she tried causing trouble again at the register, like demanding. I don't even know, but they said just watch out. She might come into your guys' store, right?" And so my coworker who I was working with in our store told me that, and I was just so genuinely like shocked and surprised that this woman would cause issues. She's like an older woman, she's a grandmother and stuff, white haired and everything. And she's always been very kind to me. Never like had an argument with her or anything. I did kind of notice that the last few times I did work with her, that she made like a really big deal about these different medical issues she was having. And obviously I sympathize. Of course, as we get older, medical issues probably become more severe, and they're just not great to deal with, no matter what age you are, right? Having to take a certain medicine at a certain hour, needing to sit down and eat with it, have a break, make sure you're staying hydrated. Like, these are all things that I have no issue with, and I don't think that she should not be advocating for herself. But I did notice that it seemed like she was making a big deal out of it, how, and like trying to impress on people like how horrible it was that she was going through this. And I'm sure she was probably looking for empathy, but it was a little annoying to me. And so I caught myself making these judgments like, wow, I can't believe this is the kind of person she is, blah blah blah, like just genuinely like shocked and confused too. And I was a little nervous about her trying to come in the store, but I got the chance today to practice non-judgment. And I know that sounds silly because I was definitely judging the fuck out of her. But she came in, and I was able to pause in the moment and be like, okay, look, I've heard all these things about her. Didn't make me think great things, right? But I also have my own history of like communicating with her just as another employee, a coworker, and we've only had good. So I caught in this like instantaneous kind of way, like, okay, well, I have both good and bad now of her judgments in my mind, but is my judgment like, is it going to affect my behavior with her? Because I didn't want it to. And I didn't want any kind of like argument or confrontation, and I also didn't want to have to do something, I was like be pressured into doing something I'm not supposed to do at my job and risk having employment, right? And so I'd been working with some other customers, getting problems solved, and she came in, and I actually didn't even, like, it was automatic, I didn't mean to, but I smiled really big when I saw her, because it had been a while since I'd seen her, and I didn't even know that she didn't work with us anymore, like, until my coworker had said that, and said she might be coming down. And so I smiled at her, and I thought to myself consciously, I'm like, okay, I'm not going to use that judgment that I had and make it shift my behavior towards her, make me cold towards her. I'm just going to continue to be the person that I've always been with her, right? Because I don't have a personal reason to have any friction with her. I didn't fire her. She didn't yell at me, like, and so I went over to her and I hugged her, and she was like, "I was trying to get your attention from outside the store." And I was like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I didn't like see you," because I really didn't see her. And I just kept it present in the moment. And I was like, "So how are you doing today? Like, it's really good to see you," and yada yada. And she was like, "You look so happy, blah, blah, blah." And I really was. I was happy to see her. And in that moment, when I wasn't letting my judgment of her consume my thoughts, I wasn't thinking about like, oh my God, what kind of problem is she gonna cause? And I wasn't feeling anxiety about like, what's gonna happen, yada yada. And it turned out she came in, we had a nice conversation, and then she left. Because I asked her too, as part of my job. I'm like, oh, so are you looking to buy something here today? Are we shopping around? Yada yada. And she was like, oh, no, I just wanted to say hi. And she left. And there was no issue. She didn't buy anything, but, there was no issue. I don't think she was going to buy anything in the first place. But it went well. And my coworker looked at me like, because she, I don't even know what all was going through her head, but she was like, that was painless. And I was like, it really was. And I don't know if this comes across as fake or talking behind people's backs, because I do feel a little guilty about I had mentioned to my coworker the kind of victim mentality I'd noticed with her the last few shifts I'd had. But I don't think I said anything or acted in a way that was untrue to how I felt in that time. There was I wasn't trying to be mischievous. I wasn't shit talking on her as soon as she left or anything like that. I said some things about her that were judgmental, my own judgment of my experience with her, but I refrained from continuing on that and allowed myself to stay open and receptive, and look for positivity and solutions in that moment instead. And it worked out pretty well. And even my other coworker was I'm surprised, because she's been going up to the other store and going to checkout and demanding free stuff and saying oh, you guys don't treat your customers well and yada yada yada. And so I just gave her love, was what it was. I gave her my joy and my happiness because I was genuinely happy to see her, just as a human. And I gave her that speck of humanity because, I don't know what's going on in her life. We're not close or anything. She does have a large family and people that, probably depend on her for childcare. I'm sure lots of grandparents, are the childcare for their kids. And so, you just don't know. And maybe her health conditions have gotten worse. I could come up with all kinds of things, but at the end of the day, I don't know what she's going through. And it sucks to be fired. I personally, if I got fired from this place, I just wouldn't come back because I didn't shop there anyways. But so it's interesting. She feels like she's been wronged, is what I'm gathering from what I know. But at the same time, too, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. All I can do is be in the present and try and be understanding of people, and not head into it with defensive kind of energy, expecting them to make a problem. Because I could see this whole thing have gone another way. If I had approached and been unfriendly and cautious, she would have been oh, you guys are treating me badly, I'm the customer now, blah, blah, blah. And I could have helped bring a problem into existence. And instead, I stayed open and I let go of the judgments I was making, and it ended up fine. It was actually a really pleasant experience with her, to see her again and give her a hug, and she asked me about how I was doing, and so I don't know. I just kind of wanted to share that. I'm not sure how this is applicable maybe to other people, or what kind of moral or lesson there is here. I just felt like it was a moment where I had conscious control of a situation, even though I never will have any control over another person in a situation, right? But I did not feed into a potential issue with my behavior. And so that's all we can really do. So yeah, I just want to share that with people. Hopefully it can help someone. So yeah, bye.